Welcome to episode 6 of the Nabeel Naqvi Podcast. Today I am very excited to be joined by my longtime friend and realtor, Mike Fazal. Mike and I have been working together for over 7 years, and we've seen a lot of ups and downs. And as you guys know, we're here to guide you through this real estate market, through the ups and downs. So Mike, let's get right into it. You've seen a lot of different markets in the last, however many years you've been working in the industry.
Correct.
What are your overall thoughts on what the market looks like right now from a GTA perspective?
GTA-wise, we're looking at it as a buyer's market.
Yes.
It's been like that since the rates have gone up.
Right.
Right. And mainly it's a lot of fear mongering, a lot of debt in the market. So what's tend to happen is people can't afford the debt. Turn into a buyer's market. You have great deals out there.
Yes.
Sellers aren't being pushy, right? They're taking whatever they can get.
Yes.
And that's just how it is right now.
Absolutely. Now, you also have deep connections in the Middle East.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on not so much politically what's happening in the Middle East, but how that is going to impact and continue to impact, how it has had an impact on the market in terms of the ongoing, just a mess that is the Middle East right now and the impacts that it's having here.
So, let's backtrack a bit. The
Yes.
Middle East was sort of always a supporter. You had a lot of investors pouring in
That's
to
right.
North America as a whole, not
Right.
only Toronto. And obviously,
That's how we met,
different
actually,
rules-
because we had a
we had
mutual
a
client
from there.
Right.
And what ended up happening is there were rules and regulations that the federal and provincial government put into place that stopped foreign investors coming in.
Right.
Right. So we had a lot of investors coming from the Asian market, a lot from the Middle Eastern market, but it still was only 6 to 7% max of purchasers, investors within Canada. Let's put it that
Absolutely.
way. After the rules and regulations and taxes came into place, all that slowed down. So if you weren't a PR or you weren't in a row to get PR, you had to pay a tax.
Yeah.
Right.
Tax.
And it kinda
Tax will always get
killed
you.
the vibe.
Yes.
Right. It killed the vibe for a lot of investors.
Yeah.
And sitting here right now, looking at what's happening in the Middle East, we've gone through a couple of ups and downs, right, in the market. They have as well.
They have.
I would say they're still more volatile because of war zone, mainly.
Right.
Right. But the way I see it is, it's tough to gauge. Like they don't want to move back.
Right.
Right. You don't have that.
Plus, this
immigration
foreign buyer ban
barrier.
still that's active in
Yeah, it's
Canada is
still
not
active.
helping the situation.
No, it's
I
not.
mean, that
It's
should be
not.
the first
But
thing.
it's
that
giving
should be-
Canadians a chance.
It is.
Right.
It
It's
is.
a buyer's market.
The
There are
locals.
Canadians coming in. There are locals being able to afford it.
Right.
You have a lot of the population from the time of COVID where things were insane are coming in now and saying that, okay, we can finally get out of mom and pop's basement.
Yes.
They finally don't need to help us. We can come and lower down payments, etc. So I feel like it's bringing a lot of Canadians.
Right.
Right.
So you're seeing a
to
lot of
home
activity
ownership.
on that side.
Yeah,
So how are
tons of
you helping these people, and what are the kind of challenges and
Yeah.
ways to overcome them that you're seeing on this?
So I don't deal a lot with first-time home buyers.
Sure.
Right. That's not my forte at all.
Right.
You know my forte.
Yes. An
Right.
investor class. Yeah.
But the way they come in is they have savings plans, etc. You have different companies like Zone. I don't know if you've heard about them. They help with down payment.
Okay.
Part owners,
Mhm.
right, until you sell.
Yeah,
the
seeing a lot of
property.
that
So on and so forth. So they're trying to get into the market, which is great. The only thing is that out of the 70,000 plus agents we have in Ontario,
Yeah, it's a lot.
you can't expect every Tom, Dick, and Harry, brother, sister, cousin to be a professional.
Sure.
Right. So a lot of the challenges come from the advice you take.
Right.
Right. So these first time home buyers who want to get into the market
Yes.
are being advised to go into, I wouldn't say the best options for their future.
Right.
Right. And that has to change. Now, looking at 2025, out of the 70,000 plus agents, right, 80% of them didn't even have a transaction written on their name.
That's right. Yep. Absolutely.
Right? So
And I felt that on my end too.
it feels slow per se.
Right.
Right. But it's just people now are coming to that realization with all the knowledge on the table and whatnot that, hey, we want to go to a professional. We don't want to use cousin because, you know, if I don't use him, we're going to have a bad relationship, for example.
Right.
They're okay with breaking that relationship,
Absolutely.
right? To set
Yep.
their future up, which I feel is fair.
That is
Right?
fair.
It's just
That's
family dynamic, I suppose.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So now, as we do always, we will be answering your listener submitted questions. So, Mike, if you're ready, we have some questions that have been submitted. Put my glasses on, and we're going to try.
I don't
to
remember the whole glasses scenario in the last 7 years.
The glasses
Damn.
have to come on.
been
to make
that
it look,
long, eh?
to make it look professional, right? So these are questions that have been submitted by listeners
Okay.
who are in the current market, going through it, and they want our advice, and we're going to try our best to try to help them through,
Sure,
through the
absolutely.
situation. So this is from Amir from Mississauga, right down the street. Hey guys, big fan. So I did everything you're supposed to do. Back when the market was insane, I said, this makes no sense. I'm not chasing. I waited, sat on the sidelines, like we told people to do, felt very smart about it. Then rates went up. Things cooled off a bit. And earlier this year, I finally bought. No bidding war had conditions, even negotiated a bit. I was like, this is it. This is how disciplined people do it. But here's a twist. Now I'm seeing similar places listed for less than what I paid. And I'm doing that thing where I casually check listings like it's a hobby I didn't ask for. So now I'm sitting here thinking, did I make the right move at the wrong time? Like logically, I know I didn't overpay, but emotionally it feels like I bought right before another drop. So how do you deal with that disconnect? And there's other people in his situation who are
Of
probably
course.
thinking the same, but who haven't bought yet.
Correct.
So what would you give these advice?
I'll give you an example before I answer his scenario.
Sure.
How old do we think Amr is?
Oh, that's a great question. But I would imagine he's probably in his 30s, has a job, working, maybe
Okay,
married,
fair.
with the spouse also working.
Family, maybe not.
Right,
Okay,
right. Let's
great.
assume that's the case
So-
for this case.
Let's backtrack historically, right? In the early 90s, the rates were absolutely insane,
Correct.
right? We were going through a
12,
time
13%
where,
average.
yeah, that was like prime.
We
Right?
were
Banks
kids
were
back
offering,
then.
banks were offering 20% plus,
Right.
and people still bought at that time.
Yep.
Right. And neighbors still sold for less around them. But what they did is they held on, they crunched, and they moved forward. Right. So one thing Amr has to understand, that your primary residence is never your investment.
Right.
Right. No matter how much capital you're going to build into it, no matter how much the market goes up,
That's a great point.
right.
Your primary,
Your primary residence is never an
is
investment.
never your investment.
Right. Because
that.
what's going to happen is when you sell that property, let's say to upside.
And you also shouldn't be renting as your primary residence then, right? If you can.
Yeah, no,
Right.
absolutely not.
Own it.
Right.
Right.
Own it. Right. You're good. You have a primary residence, but
Mhm.
it's not an investment.
Right.
If anything, right, it's an asset, but it's also a liability. You have to maintain it, etc. No one's paying you to do it.
Correct.
You have to pay your mortgage. You have to pay your taxes. You have to pay any maintenance on top of it.
Yes.
Right. Whether it's condo, freehold, doesn't matter. You still have to maintain the property.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to understand that a primary home, once you sell it, you have to upsize
Right.
or downsize.
Right.
Right. It doesn't give you leeway to go buy investment properties or whatnot. Now, we did see that in the hot market. People who bought, boomers who bought in the late 90s, early 2000s, what happened to them was they made, let's say, $1 million of equity into their property because of the
Oh,
market
yeah.
going
We saw that a
up, right?
lot.
So they were super excited.
Yeah.
But when they sold, they used that $1 million to put as down payment on a $2 million home.
That's all I
What did they achieve?
Yes.
It wasn't an investment.
Or
it
even
just
worse.
it was just a train for them to get
Right.
something bigger. But
Yeah.
they could have done that before the market started going up.
I saw
tremendously.
some of these guys selling their properties and buying 4 or 5 pre-construction
Yeah.
units
Where did that
as a
and
play.
pay them? Right.
Yeah, that's a separate day
Right.
question.
Yeah. That's a whole different story. So
Yeah.
to Amr, honestly, I would say stick it out. If it's your primary residence, you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
House Sigma, Zolo, etc. They don't show the whole picture. They are agents who still put properties up for lower prices to do offer presentations, etc.
Right.
So whatever you see out there, you're not getting the full picture of it.
Right.
Right. So maybe find a new hobby. I mean, don't do drugs or anything, get into
Don't do
something
drugs.
else. Go play pickleball. It's more fun.
Pickleball is
Keep you
huge
active.
these days. Are you into pickleball?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I play quite a
So
bit.
talk to me about pickleball. Like,
It's great. It's
picking up,
really
eh?
bad for your knees and legs as much as they say it's not.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going
I want to
through
come out
a
one
lot
day and
of
try it out.
injuries, so I try not to play too much. But I mean, you get sucked into it.
No, a lot of these courts have been converted from tennis to pickleball, so it's got to be big.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I'm
let's
definitely
hope it's
behind
not
on the
like
trend.
a fad or a trend,
Right.
like how squash was, etc.
Right. Well, I'm hearing now paddleball and
So
there's other
paddle's
stuff.
massive in the Middle East, actually.
Oh,
It's huge. Yeah,
okay.
but it never picked up here.
Okay. So we have another question, but we're going to take a break
Sure.
and be right back. Hey, everybody. The Nabeel Naqvi Podcast is brought to you by Affinity Law, my law firm. We're a full service firm, which means if it touches your life, we probably cover it. Buying or selling a home, you already know. Our real estate team makes sure you're protected. Running a business, our corporate lawyers help you grow with confidence. If you're injured in an accident, we'll fight to get you compensated with our best personal injury lawyers. Facing workplace issues, our employment lawyers are on your side. Planning for the future or moving to Canada, wills, estates, immigration, we have you covered every step of the way. At Affinity Law, you don't just get a lawyer. You get a team that protects your interests across every part of your life and business. Affinity Law, full service, no nonsense. Now let's get into the show. And as a reminder, we are brought to you by Affinity Law, full service law firm, personal injury, real estate, corporate, immigration, employment. We have it all covered. Give us a shout, whatever you need.
Best in the business.
Thank you very much. So we answered a buyer question. Now I have a seller side question for you, Mike.
Fun. All right.
Okay, and I know you like representing those sellers. I mean, not that you don't like the buyers, but sellers are the sellers. So this is Daniel from Vaughan. I live in Vaughan, great city. What's up, guys? So I'm trying to sell my house right now, and I feel like I'm negotiating with reality and losing. In my head, my house is worth what my neighbor got in 2021. Like that number is locked in. It's not even a discussion. It's just what it's worth, and I know it. But in real life, we've had showings, some interest, and offers that feel disrespectful. Man feels disrespected by the offers. Like not even close to what I expected. But my agent keeps saying things like the market has shifted and we need to be realistic, which I hear, but I don't accept. Here's a twist. We actually got one decent offer early on, and I turned it down because it didn't hit my number. And now it's been sitting, and I'm starting to think that offer might have been the best one. So how do you know when you're negotiating well versus, just anchored to something that doesn't exist anymore?
Okay, so Daniel and Vaughan.
Tough one.
So
And
right off the
people
bat,
dealing with this situation
right off the bat, Vaughan has the third most highest crime rate in the GTA.
Whew.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely
All right.
crazy. I don't know if I should say this if people are buying and selling in Vaughan, but that's the reality.
That's true. But
Right?
Vaughan is
It's
huge.
worse than
Vaughan
Brampton.
is huge, though.
No,
Like
it's worse
Thornhill,
than Brampton.
where I'm
Brampton's
at.
number 5,
Okay, wow.
right?
That's
Green's
crazy.
number 3,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
looking at it, obviously you have a lot of home invasions,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
So people are double thinking Vaughan quite a bit. Insurance premiums are super high. And it's not only Woodbridge anymore. Like when you come down to Patterson, Maple,
Yep.
insurance premiums are up, home insurance premiums
Yep.
are up, car thefts are up.
That's the reality. That's the
It's a
reality. You're right.
constant,
Absolutely.
It's something
Can't
you
run
have to
away
live
from that.
with
Yep.
until
Until Mr. Carney fixes the
he's
situation?
doing a good job. Honestly, he's doing a good
I like
job. Coming back to Daniel, so
Yeah,
rule of
and
thumb
sellers in general.
rule of thumb in real estate, especially in a buyer's market.
Yep.
Something very important is your agent's going to do the best he can,
Mhm.
right? He's going to market the property, he's going to stage it, he's going to bring showings in, all that jazz is going to happen.
Yep.
Right? I'm assuming he hired a professional, not
It's a big assumption.
buddy from
There's a lot
down
of
the
agents
road,
out there.
or cousin, or uncle or auntie.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll dive into that a bit. There's a story on that.
Absolutely.
But I would say that rule of thumb is you try and work with your first offer, especially in a buyer's market. And the reason is you're not going to, or you may not see a second offer. right? As your property sits on
Such
the
a
market,
different market than
yeah,
5
so
years ago.
as your property sits on the market longer, people like Amer, who are browsing House Sigma, who's
Shout out
browsing
Amer.
Zerlo, etc., right?
Yeah.
They're the ones who are constantly watching it, calling their agent and telling them, hey, this guy's been sitting 60 days, 180 days. I've seen properties sit on the market for 365 days at the same price, right? That's the seller mindset. Now, the buyer mindset, and we're in a buyer's market, is that, hey, the more we wait and the more it doesn't sell, the more we can lowball.
Lowball. Correct.
That's the reality, right? We'll
I'm
have our
seeing that.
contingencies in place. We'll have our home financing. We'll have our inspection. Shit, we'll throw in other stuff
Yeah.
too
Absolutely.
if we need to, right?
Yep.
Like let us sell our house and then we'll, firm the deal up.
Yes.
But it's always important to work with that offer. And as close as it gets to your number, that's fantastic.
Right.
That number could be 100,000 less than what you're expecting. But you have to think about it that, hey, if you're getting 100,000 less, the area around you is expecting that price, right? Now, whether or wherever you're going to move, you're going to see that 100K down.
Yeah.
There's certain pockets, obviously, that haven't dropped tremendously. Yeah. Overall, the market's come down around 20%.
Yeah.
Right? Some areas have come down 5 to 7. Right? So depending where
Some
you want to
areas
go,
30 or 40.
right?
No.
So wherever you want to go, it's very important for you to understand that if you're giving a deal, you're going to get the deal back too, right?
Yes.
Unless, of course, you don't have strong advice by you. That's the most important part.
That's right.
There was a deal that we did right now that was, I think, in June.
Yep.
Right, where they had initially listed the property for 2.8 million. They dropped the price to 2.2, and we picked it up for 1.75. Right,
I remember that.
You remember that
I
deal?
remember that
So
deal.
that was it was a 4,600 square foot home in Mill Pond. And I'm talking about estate Mill Pond.
Yes.
Beautiful homes built in the 90s, being built in the 90s at 11-foot ceilings. Right, it was a fantastic property, and we got an amazing deal. Right, so you have to expect that give and take. Right, that deal was really good because we negotiated for a week. I put the hammer down at 1.75, and I'm like, if you want it, I should have a sign back in the morning. If I don't have a sign back in the morning, don't call me. We're not talking about this. And I remember this. He called me exactly at 8:15 a.m. and he's like, I don't know what you did and why you did that, but the seller signed. Congratulations.
Wow.
That's all it
There you
was,
go.
right?
There you go.
We had our ground. So
Well, that's how it works.
going back to Daniel, that listen, you know what? If you are getting other offers, bring your expectation down. Everyone feels like their home is worth, it's priceless to them.
Yes.
Right? Like when I look at my home,
People
for
get
example, I
attached to
think
it.
that, you know what? I did so much work in the house, right? I've renovated it completely now. And it's like, hey, it's worth 1.5. Is the market giving me that? No, but it doesn't matter because it's my primary residence.
Right.
Right? So I have to have that reality check and realization that it is worth what it is today, right? Do I want to sell it or can I keep it, right? Maybe my kids are gone to college. Let's say Daniel's situation, and him and his spouse are alone, or he's alone, or whatever the case is, right? So make the call, live in it for a couple more years, see where it goes, or sell it, upsize, downsize.
No, that's great advice. That's great advice. Hassan from Scarborough. So I'm a buyer in the GTA right now, and on paper, this should be the best possible setup for me. There's more inventory, less competition, listings are sitting longer, you're seeing price reductions, terminated listings coming back lower, feels like buyers having some control. But here's a problem. Now that I actually have leverage, I can't make a decision to save my life. Every place I look at, I'm like, yeah, I like it, but is this actually a deal or just less overpriced than it used to be? And then I go down this rabbit hole. Well, that's your problem. If I wait another few months, maybe it drops more. I'm hearing that a lot. So I pass. I've probably walked away from 4 or 5 properties I genuinely liked, thinking I was being smart, but now I'm starting to think I just might be overthinking everything. So how do you balance taking advantage of a softer market without getting stuck in this loop where nothing feels like it's good enough to actually pull the trigger and that prices might go down even further and further?
So going back to Hassan, I mean, it's the same mindset, right? Like what's your idea? What's your goal with the property, right? The best time to buy real estate was yesterday, always.
Yeah.
right?
I
For
feel like
two
a lot of these
reasons.
are kind of first-time home buyers or younger couples.
You know,
already
and
made
they
it.
have to understand, like we have to look at our mentors, you know, not only in the real estate but with finance, economics, etc. And they all say buy real estate, right? When you're ready, buy it.
Yeah.
You know, or buy it yesterday if you could, right? There's a
Right.
very famous saying that I can't recall what it is right now, but if you're buying real estate, the best time to buy was yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
I've heard that.
And there are two reasons for that. Number one is, okay, you may be buying at a higher price, but remember you're paying it down, right?
Right.
So if you're looking at that long term, regardless of the ups and downs in the market,
Yes.
you're still going to come out a winner,
Right.
right? I would say in 5 years, you still come out a winner, right? When you overthink, you know, property purchases, etc., it doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
You know, if you have a goal, let's say you're currently a tenant, right, and you have an opportunity to buy, you would rather pay down your own mortgage than pay someone else's.
Right.
Or maybe they don't have a mortgage and you're paying it for them.
A lot of
right? You're giving
investors
them an
don't.
income. I mean, that's what the market is, right? That's where the investor market comes in. They're always going to be tenants. They're always going to be landlords, right? They're always going to be people who have homes and who don't,
Yes.
right, on their name.
Mhm.
But the goal and idea is always going to be that, hey, buy the property you like. You may never get a chance to buy that again,
Yeah.
right?
It's a
And
great
don't
time.
overthink it. I mean, prices going down, prices going up, sales are up,
Yeah.
right? Sales are doing fantastic right
Yeah.
now. If he was to open, you know, any of the apps today and do his own research, he would see that things are selling.
Things are selling. Yes. Yes.
Right.
We're seeing a lot.
You're seeing,
activity.
I'm sure you're seeing a lot of transactions
Since March,
too,
we're
right?
seeing
yeah.
a big uptick.
Yeah, so people are doing that.
Yeah.
We do have the scare, you know, because of the war. Or interest rates might come
Absolutely.
up, inflation.
Absolutely.
You know what? We
Well,
have the
let's
ceasefire for
pause
now.
there. I know you have some inside information on the mortgage industry. You know, so what are you hearing about rates? Are they going to stay steady or possibly go up? I've heard they're going to go up just naturally because of the inflation and fuel prices going up. So they're going to have to raise it a bit. Are you hearing anything from your contacts in the mortgage industry?
So you have to understand that it's very short term, right? When Bank of Canada sits down, they don't look at the short term. They know there's a war. They know the war will end, right?
Right.
Unless the war doesn't end, right? Now, I'm going to put it this way. Both parties are fighting right now
Yeah.
to come to an amicable solution.
Many parties. Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
To slow everything down, you know, the flow of oil, commodities, etc., to move freely around the world. Right? Once that happens, things are going to come back down. Right? Is Bank of Canada going to take a jump and say that, hey, we're going to raise the interest rates, you know, because of a short-term war?
That would be short-sighted.
It would be very short-sighted.
Right.
They would destroy an economy that's still trying to recover.
So your opinion, a rise in interest rates at this time would completely kill this market?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's sort of like fear-mongering, right?
Right.
I mean, we had that from 23 onwards. You know what I mean? The interest rates started coming up.
Because I'm seeing a lot of sales come in, but a lot of them are power of sales. People are being forced to sell because they don't want to.
You see that a lot
They
with
had to.
privates and B lenders, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of properties coming up from Equitable, so B lender, community B lender, a lot of privates, right? But you know what? They're still holding their ground with the market. They're not liquidating.
No, they are selling.
Yeah, they are
Yes.
selling. They are giving the equity portion back to the sellers, minus all the fees and all that jazz, of course.
Right.
But you are seeing that quite a bit, and it's okay. It's not a large percentage where people are overinflating it, saying, "Oh my God, you know, everyone's getting delinquent, et cetera, et cetera." No, there is around 60 to 90 days of delinquency in the market right now. You know, job market's tough.
Yes.
Our tariff war last year wasn't the greatest,
Right.
but we're recovering. You know,
Yes.
our government's making deals outside with different countries, and
No, the job market thing you mentioned is a big one too.
it's
With
huge.
the AI and everything, like
Yeah,
I'm seeing a significant people coming up to me and saying, "Wow, I've been impacted by this," right, in the employment sector.
Yeah, but AI, you know what? The AI bubble's gonna pop.
Oh yeah,
And maybe we'll talk
Let me
about
get-
it in
no,
episode 12.
I
No,
want to
no,
hear
no.
your 2 cents on the AI bubble. Yeah, you think it's gonna pop?
You know what?
Because in
there's
our
a lot
industry,
of-
we're seeing a lot of entry-level jobs for lawyers almost completely being impacted by this. Because there's a lot of stuff that it can do that.
No, I understand that. It's a great tool, but you can't, like, if there's no professional,
Right.
that tool doesn't make
That's
sense.
what you're finding, yes.
Right? So if you were to put a prompt today on make me an agreement of purchase and sale, right? If you're not a professional looking at that APS after any, like Chat GPT, whatever,
Yes.
come through with it,
Something
right?
could
And
get
you don't
missed.
proofread it, etc. If anything gets missed, that's on the lawyer then,
100%. Yeah.
right? So you need the professionals backing it up.
Yeah.
You need the professionals who can use it right, etc.
Yeah.
Right? But the whole money aspect going around it, right? It seems like that money doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But again, this is a very long
That's a
conversation.
separate topic. All right. We have one more question. If you have time, we are going to Oakville. Omar from Oakville.
Omar from Oakville
Has written in, and he says, so we're trying to sell our current place and buy something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And doing this right now feels like a mental battle more than anything. On one hand, we know the market's softer, so we're worried we won't get the price. We won't get the price we want on our sale. On the other hand, we're thinking maybe we can get a deal on the purchase. So in theory, it should balance out, but in practice, it just makes things harder. And because now when we look at homes, we hesitate. We're like, what if we buy this and then our place sells for less than we expected? This is actually a real issue a lot of people are dealing with. Or the opposite. What if we sell first and then we can't find something we like? We've already passed on a few homes we like because we weren't confident about our sale. And now those are gone. So now it feels like we're stuck. At what point do you stop trying to perfectly time those transactions, and what advice would you give on buying first, selling first?
So personally, I think Omar's approach to it's completely wrong. Right, like I'll tell you right off the bat, in a buyer's market, it's the wrong way to go about it. Right, the reality is put your house up for sale.
Okay, that's step one.
Look at the market.
Put your house up for sale.
Yeah, put your house up for sale. Look at the market.
Yeah,
see what's going on around you. See what the prices are for what you want to upsize. Right. Talk to a professional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good start.
But put your house up for sale. That's very, very important.
Okay.
Right. So put it up for sale, and then you'll understand what your buying power is moving forward. Right. There are times right now, and I've been in this scenario in 2025.
And you can stretch those sales out 60, 90 days.
Exactly.
For as long as
some
you want.
people are rating 120 days.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's sometimes when we do deals in June, we can't close in 30 days for religious purposes. So we have to extend them out, etc. Right. There are a lot of people who do that, right? So stretch the sale out to 120 days. That's fine, right? It gives you, like 2 to 3 weeks to calm down, to understand that, oh my God, my house finally sold, right? If this is an overwhelming process for you, and then get into the buying process, right? But if you're looking at houses and you want to pull the trigger and you're fearful that you're not going to get your price, there are two things in that, right? I've dealt with transactions both ways, and you either have no confidence in your realtor to sell the property, or in your mind already you're overpricing your property.
Yes.
Right. So those are two things that are very important for you to understand. So I would rather put the house up for sale, see the offers I'm getting. If I get something I like, I'll upsize. Right. And now if you're seeing the prices of the bigger homes that are coming down, right, then you have an understanding that maybe if I want to stay in the same pocket in Oakville, right, I can reduce my price a bit and I'll get a better deal on the purchase too. So there's a lot of give and take, but in a buyer's market, I do not recommend whatsoever to purchase first and sell later. It can turn into a disaster, especially if your vision is of a certain price, etc. Right.
And just so I know, what's your favorite place in the GTA? Like, where's a nice place that you're recommending people to buy in the GTA? What are your some nice spots
right now?
Yeah. Not in terms of pricing,
Everything
but more
I'm
the areas.
about-
The areas.
Everything I'm thinking about as a hike, crime rate, damn. But that's the whole GTA right now.
That is,
for starter families and whatnot, I think Newmarket, East Gwillimbury is great.
Okay.
Right. So
East
there's a lot of
Gwillimbury.
Infrastructure coming up. You have the Bradford bypass coming too. Very nice golf courses there as well.
Yeah.
Right. You have Cardinal on Davis too. So that's there too. Right. So you have East Gwillimbury and Newmarket are great. Right. You can get towns and semis from in the 800s.
Wow.
You can get detached in the 1.1, and I'm talking about like 4-bedroom detached.
No, I know
right?
people live in the area.
East Gwillimbury is slightly newer.
They're raving about that.
Yeah, the price is slightly higher, but a lot of infrastructure coming. So just north of East Gwillimbury, you have the Bradford bypass coming. The area of Queensville, for example, brand new area, 5 years old.
Right.
Right. They have phase 5, phase 6 coming up.
Okay.
Right. We have the rebate in progress right now from the government,
nice.
so which is awesome. But there's a Catholic school where they've sort of dug
Okay.
and excavated already.
Okay.
There's a regular public school from York Regional
That's
School Board
important.
coming up.
Yeah.
Community center is already built, swimming pools, etc. Great for families, like absolutely fantastic. Right, price wise makes sense. Anything south, when you jump into Aurora, even the east end of Newmarket, Richmond Hill, you have a lot of the boomer population who is not ready to let go of their properties for cheaper.
Boomers are crazy right now.
Right? Yeah, I mean, they bought them pennies on the dollar, and now they want to sell it for a couple of dollars on the dollar. Right?
Absolutely.
So that's where we're sitting. But yeah, I would say Newmarket, East Gwillimbury, fantastic for you to get.
Amazing. And Mike, if people want to get in touch with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Instagram, email, Facebook.
Amazing.
I'm everywhere.
Just looking up Mike Fazal.
Don't go to Nabeel first. Come to me, because if you're going to be Nabeel first, that means the deal's already done.
It's done.
So
It's done.
yeah, reach out here for sure.
Absolutely. Mike Fazal, thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.